on Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out of here well before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us is Chris Ruffolo. It's Wednesdays with Mitch, Ninos, and Wayne Scott. I'm McMordie. Will try and sign in bottom of the hour. We got his pick. Also with us is Zawacky, James Clark, and Dana Lane will also sign in bottom of the hour. Full house 9 here on a Wednesday. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Mitch, Ninos, Scott, Clark, Zawacky, Lane, McMordie, and then I will close this one out. All right, we got a couple from college hoops tonight, a 10-game card NBA. A couple from the ice. Tomorrow we get started again with the NCAAB tournament, the Sweet 16 tomorrow. But let's get the show going today. Let's build up those bankrolls for a weekend of college hoops. Let's bring in Chris Ruffolo. We'll find him over at Pick Dogs. Catch him every day here at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with the morning show. Also, the Puck Dogs video series with Chris and, of course, Zawacky cranking out those hockey videos here as we're getting really down to the last 10 games of the regular season, getting you close to playoff time. So bring in Chris right now. Chris, what's happening? Oh, you're on mute, Chris.
Sorry, Tony.
No.
Yeah, no, it's the daily grind, like you mentioned. We're getting down the stretch. NCAA tournament, we're in the Sweet 16. NBA season has 10 plus games left. The NHL close to that 15, 10 game mark as well. So, it's when it's all starting to come to a head. But again, keep saying it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Absolutely, yeah. It's excellent. Tonight, we've got an interesting one here with the Lakers. They're trying to get to somehow in the playoff picture. It's been kind of a rough stretch for the last week for them. Lakers here to host the Suns. Lakers down to 1 here, total 230.
Yeah, this line's been all over the place. And, going back to what you said, the Lakers trying to get into the playoff picture, this has been probably the tightest that I've ever seen a playoff race, just in terms of just how close the margin is. I mean, you go to the Phoenix Suns, who are in 4th. There's only a 3.5 game gap between 4th and 12th in the Western Conference. And even the Lakers, you talk about where the Lakers are in the standings. Right now, they're sitting in 11th at 35 and 37. Only a game and a half behind the Golden State Warriors, who are in 6th and clear of the play-in tournament altogether. So a solid stretch for the Lakers over the next week or two could ultimately take this Lakers team from out of the playoffs entirely into completely safe, and there's just a lot of things that can happen. There's a lot of volatility here. Now the Suns, they've still got Devin Booker. They've got, Chris Paul still healthy, but obviously no Kevin Durant. DeAndre Ayton's been ruled out, and I think that's going to be key for the Suns. Is I just think that Anthony Davis is going to go to work inside, and it's going to be a big loss for the Phoenix Suns in the paint. The Suns, They're solid with Ayton in the paint, in terms of rebounding percentage, but without him, that advantage significantly drops. And I just think this is a spot where the Lakers could hold some value here. I just think at some point motivation has to play a factor, and the Lakers actually see some hope. When at one point earlier this season there wasn't much all that to be hopeful for if you were a Lakers fan or even the Lakers in general. So I think Lakers come out motivated tonight. I think they get the job done, taking the Lakers, laying the point, or even on the money line, try to get rid of that point altogether.
There you go, Chris. The Lakers point or money line here against the Suns. Shop, get the best numbers. This line has been all over the place. You may see some picks. You may see one on the other side. This one's been bouncing around. Yeah, I've given a little bit more respect for the big men in the NBA when you see them out of the lineup. We saw that with Steven Adams. We've seen this here, even with Anthony Davis at some point now, Ayton, how important they are to the team. Also, when Nurkic was out there for Portland, I think what happens allows the guards to be a little bit more offensive-minded. It creates a faster pace because they know, well, if their guy gets around him, I got a big guy that can guard the rim. Almost like a Draymond Green type of situation. We're starting to see that. Don't worry too much about the points. Got to worry about the rebound and how well they can defend the rim.
And it also fuels, the style of play in today's NBA. We always talk about how the NBA is now more driven towards a 3-point league. But, when you don't have your big man lineup, it negates your ability to go play through the post. And, like you said, Tony, you end up playing more of an outside shooter's game. And, when you have guys like Anthony Davis and no one to really defend him inside, it creates an advantage that you necessarily didn't have when you were banking on a guy like DeAndre Ayton playing in the game to begin with. So, yeah, I'm with you. You know, and we saw it, earlier this season with Jaren Jackson Jr. in Memphis before he was able to take the floor. Memphis was, having a hard time defending the paint, but once he came back in, you can see that he was definitely a missing piece, and I think that's sort of what we're seeing. It's not all about the outside shot anymore. There's still got to be some room in today's NBA for the bigs as well.
Yeah, and the guard is anticipating the rebound, and then of course getting the pass and getting that touch. You could just see they're almost getting like an extra step toward the offense end of the court because the shot's up. You can see the Lillards, you can see all these guards just thinking, okay, we're getting the rebound. I better get that step up the other way, and I'm running fast.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's also something to be said for the hybrid big now, the big man that was almost created in a test tube lab, the one that can stretch the floor as well and play the outside game as well. But at the end of the day, their main thing we all look to them towards is to grab rebounds as well. Like I said, the inside is just as important as the outside game as well. It's not like it's just you just take shots from the outside. The paint's there for a reason as well.
All right, we got Ayton out, Durant out, Bamba and James out, as you know. Davis probable to play. Chris here on the Lakers lay the one against the Suns. This one now have a start time of 10 Eastern time. This will be your late night game on ESPN. All right, Chris, let's go over at Pick Dog Supreme for tonight's action. Of course, as we mentioned, 10-game card NBA, couple on the ice, couple still to go here from college hoops. Great results in the NHL, 1,489 units of profit coming off a monster day yesterday, building up that bankroll for this big Sweet 16 round. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Well, Tony, like you said, I had a great day yesterday, but we got to move on to today. Try to carry that momentum forward. And today I got a couple plays on the board. I got my NBA best bet. I also got that as part of my Windmill Wednesday 3-pack. Also got an NHL power play on the board. You can see the results in the NHL have been great so far. And the best value, hop on something long term. This is the time to do it. The 3-day covers you, for all the Sweet 16 action. 7-day gets you up to the Final Four. 30-day covers you up from all the NCAA tournament into MLB with NHL and NBA mixed in between. Whether it's just with me or someone else, part of the 2-for-1 Kappa promotion. Also, if you're looking for the best value for just the NHL, if you're looking to get your feet wet in hockey, reduce my season pass, my playoff pass for the NHL as well. So tons of options for you guys over at Pick Dogs Premium. You just got to go over and check them out.
All right, you guys, get on board with Chris Ruffolo. We're at Pick Dog Premium. You got the results there. You see how great the results are in NHL. Get on board. Of course, use that promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Remember that 1-month pass will get you the first 3 weeks of baseball as well, as we're just about 8 days away from opening pitch here, as we're getting closer and closer here to baseball season. All right, Chris, as always, great having you show. Of course, we can catch you in the mornings on the morning show. Of course, that Puck Dogs video series, and we can't forget the videos that you do for the game, individual game videos.
Yeah, the individual game content. It's starting to slow down just a little bit with the basketball kind of slowing down, but the hockey's still ramping up. There's still lots of NBA, still lots of action this weekend as well. So, the action never stops, Tony. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, it looks like you're going from gone from 2 hours sleep to about 5 now. So.
Yeah, well, they don't call it beauty sleep for nothing.
That's right. Chris, looking pretty good here. Getting a little bit more sleep these days. All right, Chris, have yourself a great night, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Take it easy.
You got Chris Ruffolo here on the drive through. Everybody's kind of relaxing a little bit. Getting a little bit more sleep these days now without these monster cars. Speaking of sleep, I don't know about Mitch. I'm speaking about everybody else. I'm sure Mitch is still hard at work here. His schedule's probably just as full as it ever has been. Mitch, what's happening?
Well, my schedule is full, but actually I've gotten a little bit more sleep than usual, probably maybe an hour extra. But I've been, today, after being out of town for over a week, 10 days out of town, it's just meant a lot of phone calls, a lot of meetings, a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And I think some stuff that everybody out there is going to be surprised to see, but maybe I'm the only one that's surprised, and some of the other stuff just really just next level stuff. So, it's going to be a little bit of a grind for us to get it all out there. So, while it slows down for most people during the summer and baseball season, I have a feeling this might be one of the busiest ones we ever have.
No doubt about that. All right, Mitch, we go to the NIT quarterfinals, and winners go to Vegas. They're not going to New York. We're going to Vegas for the Final Four and the NIT final rounds here. But we got to finish. We got to get through this round before they hop on the plane and go out there. And we know the teams from yesterday, Wisconsin, they're going to love that trip. Wisconsin may have a home court advantage in Vegas next week. Vanderbilt here to host UAB. UAB the favorite here, -1.5, total 153.
Well, if they're heading to Vegas, I got to say you got to hit that food hall that they put in at Aria where the buffet used to be. You can go in. It's almost like a food court of higher-end food. It's very good. It's way reasonably priced by Vegas standards. And our friends at Zawacky Bar, just, oh, man, they really know what they're doing. I suggest the lobster hand roll to anybody who happens to be stopping by out there. And the spicy tuna, just a different animal than any other spicy tuna roll I ever had. But that was an unpaid endorsement of the Zawacky Bar. I just really like those guys. But anyways, yeah, I just think, I look at this game and, when I gave you the pick earlier today, UAB was a dog, and here they are now favored in this game, and for good reason, because tournament style, they just stack up to be a little bit better than Vandy does. When we look at these conferences, UAB's Conference USA just had one team in the NCAA tournament. That's FAU. They're still alive. Of course, the SEC had plenty, but Arkansas, Tennessee, and Alabama still representing well for the SEC, and all three of those teams are just an absolute force and could wind up, in the Final Four. The thing is, though, that this UAB team statistically is the better team, and generally at these tournament games, first place you got to start is shooting the three and defending the three, and UAB does those things extremely well. Vandy a little bit better at defending the three, but overall from defending shots from the floor, not even close to what UAB does. But when it comes on the offensive side, I think UAB can really put some points on the board. And I could see Vandy struggling with that 42.3 shooting percentage. Also, that 34% shooting from three-point line, not good enough to make up for it, especially when you're shooting against a team that shoots nearly 37% from the floor. I think Vandy, while they defend the perimeter pretty well, I don't think it's going to be enough here. I like UAB. I like them better as the mild dog. I think these games, all these tournament games, they're tight, and they just get, taking a point and a half and putting a point and a half out there, it makes a difference. It makes a big difference. And I like UAB. Probably don't like them as much as I liked them last night at plus 1.5, but I like them enough to stick with it. I'm not hedging out on my bet or anything.
All right, Mitch, you're on UAB. The Blazers lay the 1.5 here at Vanderbilt. Of course, getting these close games. And again, it's about the shooting, right? In the first two games, 48% against Southern Miss, 50% against Moorhead. They'll say, well, now you're stepping up against an SEC school in Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt didn't really have a good shooting performance against Yale. They got by them and pounded them because it was the defense. But I think as you get deeper in these rounds of these tournaments, you got to make your shots.
Sounds about right. It's like, it all comes down to, these games all come down to, one or two plays. There's no scrub teams left in any of these tournaments. UAB and Vandy would have been fine representatives in the NCAA tournament. And I think, there's always been a lot of argument in the NCAA tournament. Do we let these teams like FDU in automatically and keep teams like UAB and Vandy out? I think they made their case as well, and I think that what we're seeing is more parity than ever. It's almost like the NFL where, salary cap and the draft and all that other stuff and luxury taxes, and, they kind of evened it out. But in college basketball, it's called the transfer portal, playing time, and image licensing have kind of balanced things all out. And as much as, we don't love the transfer portal because we don't get to see the same players on the same team every single year, it does send some of these guys that, were playing at bigger name programs, some of these smaller schools where they get to play. And, if you were recruited at when guys are recruited at a high school for one of those big name teams, there might only be one or two scholarships. It's not like football where there's 20. There might be 2, 3, scholarships for some of these teams. So, a guy gets recruited by an Arkansas, Kentucky, an Alabama, Michigan State, one of these schools, and it never really makes it to the floor. It doesn't mean they can't play. It just means that there are guys on that team that just rate out better in practice. And at the end of the day, they might rate out or not rate out better than them, when it comes to actually on the floor. But you see it all the time where, imagine being, a 19-year-old kid that had to sit for a year at Kentucky behind a superstar. And then here comes, seemingly the next, the next John Wall or the next DeMarcus Cousins or the next, any of these Kentucky, Rex Chapman, who the heck knows,
Yeah, and what during the transfer portal, what they're doing now, they're looking at the smaller schools. They're going to try and poach those really good 3-point shooters.
Yeah, that is, it's exactly what happens. We've seen it with a lot of these schools, and if you look at Texas, this is a team that's been primarily built through the transfer portal, and look how good they are. So, it's just it's a different game, and I mean, for the worse of the regular season, it might be the better for the NCAA tournament,
Yeah, that might be. Of course, they got to really get the shooting. It's tough, we go see the NCAA tournament, then you watch Minnesota and New York have one of the best games of the season on Monday. It was just, that's what people want to see. They want to see the scoring, they want to see the tempo, they want to see the points, and of course, the accurate shoots. One way to play fast, but play fast, but be accurate with your shots. That's the skill set there people like to see, and we're starting to see some of that now in this NBA. They've really, I think, increased the level of play from these young guys making shots at this fast pace. UAB laying 1.5 here against Vanderbilt tonight. This will be on ESPN2, Game 1 of the NIT doubleheader. All right, Mitch, why don't you let everybody know what's going on over at Pig Dog Sports Chat Place? Of course, getting into late season here in the NBA, NHL as well. Baseball coming up. What's happening over at the sites?
Yeah, at Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Place, we're still working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And, in front of the scenes, it's what you see is what you get, always just a ton of content, a ton of videos and stuff that you'll be seeing on other YouTube channels and stuff probably over the next year as they just continue to try and copy us. I think one thing that, I had talked with, someone else in the industry that Tony and I both know over the weekend. And I think that, the thing that I kept saying to him is that, at the end of the day, it's like there's only about 6 people out there that have any kind of talent whatsoever. Just a lot of copycats trying to do what we do and, pretend like, they're out there. Maybe they have bigger financial backing than us and maybe they have better production facilities and maybe have that stuff. But at the end of the day, content's king. And I think that we dominate that at Pig Dogs and at Sports Chat Place. And people are just waiting to see what we do next so they can copy it.
Absolutely there, guys. Mitch, there over at Big Dog Sports Chat Place. Be sure to check us out. And, of course, use subscribe. Of course, all these shows that are live. There are many, many live shows. Almost takes a whole segment to run down all the shows. Mitch is, 7 picks in 5 minutes. We got David Racy with his shorts. He's been a really good contributor here on the show, by the way, David Racy. Of course, usually the writers do because of their thorough research they do in their writing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, we're starting to farm in our own talent. Then I think we'll be bringing some in as well. We find people out there. I scour Twitter and TikTok and YouTube every day. And I'll tell you, there's not 5 people out there I would bring in that I could find out there. So, somewhere out there, there's some talent, but I've yet to really see much of it. I just see what most of our competitors have, and it's straight garbage.
Yep, and then you're going to see a big fallout here when baseball season is, where they just stop doing it, and now they come back for football, right? That's where you really pick up a lot of ground is right now.
I don't think there's a shortage of talent out there. A shortage of content. I think there's just a shortage of talent. There
you go. All right, Mitch, it's always great having you on the show. Have yourself a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, have a great day, everyone. Make it a winner.
Make it a winner. Let's get that UAB home tonight. Mitch here on the drive-through. All right, guys, we'll continue on here on the show. If you miss any picks, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-through. Up next is Al Ninos. Catch him over at Pick Dog Stream. I think we're ready to roll here with Al Ninos. I got a text from Al McMordie. He will be on tonight at 6:40 Eastern. So we'll get his pick live here on the show. Al Ninos ready to roll. We think he's in the Skype land. Let's bring in Al Ninos right now. Al, what's happening?
Going pretty good. How are you doing, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go. This is the big line. This got my attention when I saw the 17.5, but then I was it was the Spurs, right? This is why. So we got the Bucks here to host the Spurs here. We got the Bucks laying 17.5, total 238.
Yeah, when's the last time we saw a line this big in the NBA, Tony? But anyways, I have to, I guess, kind of take a shot. I'm not going to lay 17.5 in the NBA. But a few things that kind of kept me off liking it as much as a premium is the Spurs are just 3-9 against the spread on no rest. They played last night. They got beaten New Orleans 119-84. They're just 11-23 against the spread as road dogs. The Bucks 20-14-2 against the spread as home favorites. But all that being said, San Antonio still covered 9 of the last 10 meetings against the Bucks, including the last 4 in Milwaukee. So again, maybe don't love this play as much as my favorite plays tonight, but still like it quite a bit, especially getting the 17.5 points here. I mean, the Bucks just need to win this game. They don't need to kill anybody here. And I think once they get up 20 points, there's no need to risk any injury past that point. So this should probably be best to be resting their starters. I know those Spurs will be missing some players here too, but I mean, you're giving me 17.5 points. I got to take a shot with it. I think the back door is more than wide open here. It's kind of got one of those walking escalator things that's dragging you into it. I mean, I got to take a shot, 17.5 points. I don't really care who's in and out of this lineup. And don't really care that's not the best situation for the Spurs either. I'm getting enough points, and I'm taking them. Right, I also back them first quarter and first half as well. Getting 6 in the first quarter, 10.5 in the first half. I think maybe a bit overvalued here again, the Bucks are.
All right, we got Ninos here, Spurs plus the 17.5. But we'll just go over the injury situation here for the Spurs. They're going to set a lot of guys. McDermott, Langford, Jones, Graham, Birch are out. Sulcan, Johnson are questionable. So you're going to see the second team in there, probably for the starters here for the Spurs. The Bucks will not have Crowder and Dragic in there. Giannis, Holiday, Allen. It looks like you're pretty much a starting 5 here from Milwaukee. But you said how much do they want to blow out? And it seems to me that this it's a kind of again. It's always uncomfortable when you're dealing with the Spurs, right? It's the Spurs, right? They're incapable of just getting. They just blew a big lead the other night. Was it 29? I think to somebody, but
they just got blown out last night.
Yeah.
I mean, if they got blown out in New Orleans, they can definitely get blown out in Milwaukee. But am I going to lay 17.5 points in the NBA? Not anytime soon. Don't care about the matchup. Don't care about the situation. It's just too many points for me. And the Spurs have been covering against the Bucks, so I guess it's not the first time the Bucks would be laying too many points against them, and I'll take them.
All right, we got El Ninos here. Spurs plus 17.5 here against the Bucks. 8 Eastern time tonight on the package. All right, El Ninos, let's take a look over at Pick Dodgeman for tonight's action. Of course, we have 10-game card from the NBA, so big card NBA. A couple still to go from college hoops. 2 on the ice as we're on the eve of as we get to the Sweet 16 tomorrow. Good results over the last 7 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
I have a 3-pack in the NBA and a 3-pack with my best bet in the NBA, NHL, college basketball, extra play for everyone, the long-term 2-for-1 capper specials, and my $15 best bet in the NBA as well.
That's right, guys. Got up over there. Ninos over at Pick Dodge Premium. Great results here over the last 7 days, you can see. So get on board. He does have his plays up there for you for Wednesday's action. Remember the long-term passes. That 7-day pass gets you all of the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 round until they whittle this down to 4 teams. All is NHL, all is NBA. Use promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. There is a 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having the show. Continue that success, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
You got it. El Ninos here on the drive-thru. Guys, you miss a pick. We're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Time for Wayne Scott. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, he was the winner of the recent handicapper contest here to earn a spot here on the Pick Dogs roster. So I think we're ready to roll here with Wayne Scott. I think we're going to bring him in right now. I think we're ready to go with Wayne. Wayne, how you doing today?
What's going on, Tony T? What's up, Pick Dog family?
Everything's going well tonight, Wayne. All right, here we go tonight. Game 2 of this mini two-game series. We're in the Chicago tonight as the Bulls face the 76ers. Sixers 3.5. The total 221.5.
Yes, sir. We're over here with Philly after they got their 8-game winning streak snapped by this Bulls team. And they lost in double overtime in that one, 105-109. Philly is 6-0 ATS in their last 6 in Chicago, and they're 8-2 ATS against the Bulls. But I'm not here to tell you why you can bet with Philly. Yeah, they look very nice tonight. But I noticed some things with Philly. I noticed they got a short rotation coming off that bench with 3 guys playing. DeAnthony Milton Shake, and Jalen McDaniels. Those guys gave a lot of minutes, and their starters gave a lot of minutes in that game. And those with a 3-guy thin rotation, and with the game time decisions they have looming with James Harden, McDaniels, and PJ Tucker, I just believe they'll be a little thin out there. And as I mentioned, they had 3 road games and then came home and lost to the Bulls. Now they're starting a first of a 4-game road trip, and they got Golden State, Phoenix Suns, and Denver ahead of them. So I believe this is another good spot for the Bulls to come in and play hard. Reason I like the Bulls right here is because ever since they got Patrick Beverley, the environment has changed. They're playing a lot better, and they gotten better offensively while still keeping defense. So what I mean by that is they put Ayu DeSumo, he's gone on the bench, who was a great defender while he was in the starting role, but he wasn't producing a lot of offense. And they put Patrick Williams on the bench and went small ball with DeRozan at power forward. And they kept the defense by keeping Caruso and Patrick Beverley in. And those guys can still produce offensively. And now you got those guys coming off the bench. So they've stocked up their bench, and they've done a lot with this offense. And I like them here with the +4 tonight.
All right, we got Wayne here with a +3.5, +4. Do your line shopping. Of course, these lines will start moving at this hour, as you know, as we're getting closer and closer to tip-off time. The late money pours in on these games, and let me just see what we see here. Actually, we're seeing 3.5 and some. We're seeing some steam coming here in this game too. We're seeing about we're seeing about that line around 3.5 in some places, although. We might be seeing it some places on 2. I don't know if there's some late news here. Maybe we are getting some updates here on the Harden situation here and the Tucker situation. We are seeing some steam coming in on this game. But to do your line shopping, there are some 3.5s out there on this one. As Wayne's looking here at the Bulls +3.5. Of course, the playoff picture. Of course, we're getting into the, we're getting to the end last month of the season here, right? We got 11 games here for the Sixers left to roll here. Both teams with 11 games at playoff position. Of course, the Bulls in a position you don't want to be in. That's 3 games under 500, just trying to get their way in.
Yes, sir. They're over here in this 10th spot, and I think they really need this win. They play good at home with 20-16 with a home record, and I think they really need this one. I just think Philly's looking ahead to these next 3 games, which are way bigger games. They're coming off that double overtime where a lot of their starters play 40 minutes, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys sit, or even if they don't sit, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go out there and really try to win this game as much as they want to win the next 3 games. I just love how the Bulls are playing right now with that extra depth they got, and I really like the Bulls in this one with the points.
Yeah, we are looking at possibly Harden being out here. We're getting some we're getting some word here on that, and we're probably going to see this line start to move. There are some 3.5s. I'm seeing a 2 and stuff, but their word may be getting out here on Harden. So get your best number if you can. Bulls late +3.5 here against the 76ers. This one to have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge. Remember some nice action. We got 10 on the board here from the NBA, as well as a 2 on the board here from, of course. 2 on the board here as well here from the NHL, as well as 3 on the board from college hoops. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Yes, sir. I got 4 NBA games tonight, and I just got one in all 3 in a 3-pack, 1 3-pack tonight. My Make It Rain Wednesdays. Make it rain nothing but 3 winners for y'all, and get ready for tomorrow, man. Got a lot coming up. We got this playoffs, as you mentioned, NCAA tournament, hockey, MLB, and I even got a boxing for y'all. So if that's what you're into, looking to get something long-term, pair me up with one of these cappers with our 2-for-1 capper special. I use that promo code PICK so you can get that discount, and let's cash this week.
Cash this week indeed with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dodge. Remember that 7-day all sports fest will get you all of Wayne's premium plays here for 7 days. That'll get you covered here as we get through the Thursday through Sunday card here from college basketball that will take you into the Final Four when they reach the Final Four in this tournament. So it's a good time to get on board here with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dodge Premium. Remember that promo code, as Wayne was mentioning, PICK at checkout, and you'll be able to save 15% off. All right, Wayne, as always, great having your show. Have yourself a great evening, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, Tony T. All right, Pick Dog family. Let's cash out tonight.
You got it. Wayne Scott here on the drive-through. Guys, mind if you missed a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the drive-through. Up next, we're going to bring in we will bring in James Carr, catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. We'll bring him in right now in the Skype world. I think we're ready to roll here with James. James, how's it going?
Pretty good, Tony. How you today, buddy?
Doing awesome. All right, here we go tonight. NBA tonight at 8 Eastern time. T-Wolves here to host the Hawks. T-Wolves laying 5, total 241.5.
Yeah, guys, you look at these two teams. You look at the Hawks, the last 5 games, 2-3. Timberwolves, same thing, 2-3. Both of these teams have been struggling the last 5 games. But, the Hawks coming off a big blowout win yesterday against Detroit, which they should win, games like that. But the Timberwolves, they're coming off a big win against against the Knicks here. And this Knicks team, man, the last 15, 20 games, man, they've turned around. They've been playing real good. So for a team to beat the Knicks, you got to, you really had to step up, especially when Randall, went off for like 54 or 57. So tonight, I look for a letdown spot here for the Hawks. The Timberwolves getting Towns back. I know he's going to be on a minute restriction. I know Anthony Edwards is doubtful. I don't think he'll play, but, Towns, he'll probably get 20, 25 minutes. And, I like the Timberwolves here, -5. There's a few players out for the Hawks. I know Murray's out. But, with Towns coming back, this team already had a good game, coming off a big win against New York. I think they keep cruising on and beat the Hawks here by 6 or more.
All right, James here on the T-Wolves, lay the 5 here against the Hawks. Yeah, this is a Hawks team that's really had their downs on the road this season. T-Wolves look really good in that win against the New York Knicks. They were really able to push that ball up and down the court. And the amount of fitness level these teams had, I mean, looking at both New York and Minnesota, they're running up and down the court, how they were playing at that speed, at that pace, the T-Wolves, the play at. But again, also when you look at how fast Minnesota's been playing, and of course, Towns coming in, always got to worry about the conditioning, especially now how fast-paced this league is.
Yeah, that's true. That's why he's going to be on a minute restriction. They're going to throw him out there, and when he gets tired, they'll jerk him right back out of there. But if you told me the Randall had 54 points, and next T-Wolves game, you think, well, the Knicks blew him out. But the T-Wolves look good, and it's hard to base off of one big win, but this T-Wolves team does have good talent around them. Anthony Edwards being out hurts them. Towns coming back helps them. I really like him tonight in this spot, -5.5.
All right, there we go. James here, T-Wolves late 5 here against the Hawks. This one to have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, James, let's go over at Pick Dogs Premium for tonight's action. Of course, we do have lots going on up there tonight with NBA 10-game card NBA. We also have a couple of college hoops. What do you have going on over at the site?
I got a 3-pack NBA going on. 3 of my best plays that I really like. Also got a 3-pack with the two college plays and another NBA player I really like. And I have my NBA, my 10-star easy winner play that I really like out there. So, I got quite a bit of plays going out there from the NBA. Got a lot of games in the NBA, a couple from the college. But, guys, grab it. Any one of those 3-packs. Looking to go 3-0. Coming off a 3-0 sweep yesterday in the NBA. Looking to do it again. So, get one of those packs and let's sweep the board. Or, like I say every time I'm on the show, we got the best cappers in the world, and we do by far. So team me up with any of the cappers on the show or on the site, and let's put some money in your pockets.
All right, guys, I got on board with James Clark over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, I get on board with him coming off a really good day yesterday. Get the long-term passes, as James was talking about. NBA plays up there. Remember, the 1-month pass will get you all of James plays for 30 days. Covers the first 3 weeks of baseball. And, of course, we'll get you into some of that NBA playoffs as well. Pick is a promo code. You'll save 15% off. All right, James, it's always great having the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right, Tony. Appreciate you having me on the show. Let's cash some tickets tonight, guys. And if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll see you Friday.
You got it. James Clark here on the drive-thru. Reminder, guys, we will recap if you miss any of our picks. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's bring in Rod Zawacky next up. Catch him over at Pick Dog Streams. It was really good to us here on the show. Going NBA tonight here with Rod, so let's see if we can get him in right now. Hope you guys are catching those NHL videos up there as they post them with Chris every night here as we're getting closer and closer to the postseason. Rod, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much. Enjoying the Wednesday. Nice day out again here. Nice and sunny. Can't complain. A little chilly, but that's okay. Not chilly for me.
Not chilly at all.
Maybe chilly for a lot of other people, but definitely not for me.
Yeah, up in Northern California.
Good day yesterday. We swept all.
Nice.
Another good day yesterday here. We swept all 3 plays. Can't complain. We hit with the over, and we hit with JT Miller to get an anytime goal, and we hit Riley. He ripped the goal in for us, so he definitely got us over that point. So we hit all 3. 5-0 to start the week.
There you go.
Rolling with another here.
That's another winner here tonight.
Yeah, I got another couple here for you. So another 3 more. A couple bonus plays for you.
Perfect. Perfect. Then we go NBA tonight here as Grizzlies at home. Of course, all the news here with the Grizzlies going to be laying 12.5 here against the Rockets. Total 232.
Yeah, that's a boatload of points to be laying. So I'm gonna go with the total here, which surprisingly is up on the rise. They're begging you to take the over, but I'm not taking the over. You look at Memphis; they average 118.3 points a game this season at home, and this Houston Rockets team they're averaging 109.7 points a game over their last 3, and that doesn't get us up and over that total of 232.5. So I'm going to go with the under. You look at the Rockets, 5-0 to the under in their last 5. And also 4-0 to that under off of 1 day's rest. And you look at their last 13 versus the good teams. Here's the winning records: 9-4 to that under. And Memphis, we know this Memphis team without Ja in the lineup. They definitely know how to play some defense, and Jared Jackson's in there, so definitely I love this under. Memphis 8-3-1 in their last 12 at home to the under. 12-5 in the last 17 off of 1 day's rest. In the last 4 meetings, 3-1 to the under. The last 4 between these two. Take the under 232.5 is definitely moved up from when I put this play in. Like it even better, you get a better number.
Exactly. Here we go with Rod here going with the Grizzlies and the Rockets here to go under the total of this one. Just keep an eye here that this game is played in Memphis, and sometimes Rod, when you look at some of these bad teams, they have difficulty scoring. It's a lot of times on the road where you get the problem with the scoring. Sometimes you get these teams have these homestands. Like Houston's a big homestand. They played 6 games at home, so of course they're going to look a little improved, right? Because you always play better at home. But don't forget, this team is horrible numbers they put up on the road. A lot of these bad teams that have trouble scoring on the road.
Exactly, and you look at some of these other ones. The last time these teams met, I think they got 99 was what Houston scored last time out against Memphis. Memphis has a solid D. And definitely can slow up this Houston team. And just like you said, Houston on the road, they're scoring drops from what it is at home. Big difference there. And this Grizzlies team, I think, plays some D. So a little bonus for you. I like Jared Jackson Jr. To get over points, rebounds, and assists. Is at 26.5. Take that over. The total, he's hit that 4 of the last 5 games. And then, of course, I'm wearing this hat. I'm a little bit of a homer. I like McDavid to have a big night. You look at Ingram's getting the start for the Arizona team, and his last 5 games he's averaging 4.16 goals against, so he's given up at least 4 goals. And the last time these teams met, the Oilers popped 8. This looks like the where the Oilers rip in 6, 7, maybe even 8. And
here's some shooting percentages here for Houston on recent road trip. Here's some shooting against Miami, 41.7, against Philadelphia, 40.7, against Oklahoma City, 33.7, against Golden State, 39.1%, against Memphis. This was a home game in Memphis, 40%. You can see this horrible road shooting there for Houston.
Yeah, definitely not good on the road for Houston shooting. So they'll be lucky to get to 100 tonight. In scoring, will be these Rockets. I definitely, if you want a side pick, definitely take Memphis too. I would lay that big boatload of points. I think Memphis, the way they've been scoring, they averaging 118.3 at home. I think they could probably score 120. Houston gets 101 if you're lucky, 102 maybe, if they even get to 100.
Yeah, the Memphis looks to me like if they outclass an opponent, they'll play to the crowd. The crowd, they're an exciting team to watch at home. They play at a very high level, And I don't think they took the foot off the gas either in a situation like this. We've seen them pound teams at home, right?
Exactly. But that's exactly, and I think we get a lopsided blowout, and Houston's just like, oh man, we're toast. They take the foot off the gas.
All right, we got Rod here. Rockets Grizzlies under 232.5. This one they have a start 10 or 8 Eastern time. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, tonight on the board, 10-game NBA card as well as 2 on the ice. Still 2 on the board. NIT quarterfinals, 2 more games. So we're going to find out the matchups in Vegas next week, showing results here in the last 30 days. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
And over at Pick Dodge Premium, I do have a play in one of those 2 college basketball games you just mentioned. My $15 college basketball swish. Scoop that up. We get back-to-back to start the week on that one. Or you got my NBA drop a dime play, my top-rated play in tonight's NBA action. Or that's included in my NBA birdcage. Love 3 plays in tonight's NBA. I don't know where scoop it up. Or grab the rest of this week and you'll get the Sweet 16 action as well over the next couple of days. We got loaded NHL, loaded NBA. Definitely now's the time to go long term. Use that 2-for-1 capper deal and pair me up with any one of the other hot cappers over at Big Dogs Premium, and let's make you some money heading on into the weekend coming up. Love the action ahead this week. It's that time of year where I'm excited. It's like waiting like a kid at Christmas. We got we had the big dance go on, and then now you have to wait a few days. That waiting a few days it sucks.
I know it does.
A few days. I'm jonesing for some back to the big dance. Come on.
That's right. Let's get some big dance. Exactly, guys. Get on board with Rod. Get the long-term pass pick is the promo code. Use it. Click the link in the description, then click the All Cappers tab, and you'll find Rod's there amongst the cappers, and go ahead and get signed up. Right, Rod, it's always great having you on the show. Keep up the great work. We'll catch up with you again on Steak of Friday. But, of course, we got lots going on over at Pick Dogs. We catch you in the mornings. Of course, that Pug Dogs series, as we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs, this is the time to tune in here because in about a few weeks we'll be getting into these playoff rounds.
Yeah, definitely playoffs are right around the corner, jockeying for seeding and who's going to be in the playoffs, who's out. We've had some teams eliminated already, some that are still in the thick of a battle. There's still even division leads that are battling with 1-2 points going in on both in the East and in the West, so definitely tune in to me and Chris doing those Puck Dog videos. Like, subscribe, that way you get notified when those videos get dropped, and you can get that content. Definitely, we got a big loaded, only 2 tonight, but there's a loaded card tomorrow, and me and Chris got those covered for you, so watch for those to be dropped very shortly. And definitely, Tony, you have yourself a wonderful night, and I will see you Steak Friday.
See you on
By the way, over 2.5 points tonight. I think he rips it up, plus 145 on that.
There you go. That's from Rod Zawacky. All right, have a great night. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday. Rod Zawacky here on the Drive Thru. Mind you guys, if you miss a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here on the Drive Thru. Up next, we're going to bring in Dana Lane. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Of course, Dana's going to come in with an NHL pick for tonight. Dana, what's happening?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Doing awesome. Everything's going great. Good. And, of course, tonight we go to the ice here as the Oilers will be facing these Coyotes. Coyotes on the road. They're not at home now. So we'll see what they can roll here. Big favorite here for the Oilers. Total sits here at 7.
Isn't it crazy? And I don't have the updated numbers, Tony, but isn't it crazy? Up until probably, 3 or 4 days ago, the Coyotes were one of the best teams to bet on, especially in the second half of the season. Now, they haven't been great on the road for sure, but surprisingly, I think you would, if you asked the average hockey fan who was one of the better teams to wager on this season, I think they would get down a long list before they got to the Coyotes. But as you mentioned, they are on the road against Edmonton tonight. This total is at 7, and every time I see a 7, Tony, it makes me cringe. So I decided to go ahead and do some research on the number 7 and see what we found. And this year, 26 times the number has been right on 7. Just 7 of those times the number has cashed on the over. We've had a ton of pushes on that number. But then I said, well, if to get over 7, you got to get to 8. So let's see if a total was 7.5. There was 3 games this year where the total was 7.5. All 3 went under the total. So to take that further, it's 28, 21, and 18 over the last 2 years when the total was either 7 or 7.5. So you can see exactly where I'm going to go with this game. this is an Oiler team, when they face Arizona, has only given up 7 goals in their last 4 games. So I think the real worry in this game is whether or not Edmonton is going to get close to that 7 themselves, which they very, very much could be. I mean, considering the Arizona Coyotes defensively have absolutely been horrific. In fact, Connor Ingram in his last 4 games has averaged facing at least 40 shots a game. Arizona has to be much better. But the caveat in this, Tony, is this is the game before Edmonton takes on the Vegas Golden Knights. So I think that this will be a game, if Edmonton gets a 2 to 3 goal lead, I think you're going to see Draisaitl's minutes and McDavid's minutes maybe getting that low 20 instead of the 22 range, maybe even 19-ish. So I think they will take the pedal off with a big game on upcoming. But honestly, this 7 is never a number I want to go over, and I'm not going to go over that number tonight.
All right, we're gonna go under the total here on this one here, under the 7 here with the Oilers here and the Coyotes. And of course, yeah, you were talking about that West race. It's getting kind of heated there, of course, with the Kings. We got Vegas getting the win yesterday. Quicken, that he had his bad game, and he came back and got a little bounce back here.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Quick. I thought it was an outstanding move. I think the guy has some hockey left in him, and we've had plenty of examples, and really an example with Quick when he was in Los Angeles, who really got kicked out of his own net and then came back, took it over, won a cup. I think he's got hockey left in him. I mean, it's amazing when you see these guys that, I mean, look at Linus Ullmark in Boston. I mean, the guy, if you look at his numbers in Buffalo, wasn't very good, but then when he went to Boston, well, all of a sudden he's a Vezina Trophy finalist, and you put these good goaltenders on above average or even great teams, and they're going to really I have a lot of confidence in, say, Jonathan Quick coming into Vegas than I would Laurent Brossoit, or even we'll see what happens when Logan Thompson comes back, because when Logan Thompson comes back, it will be interesting to see if he does come back 100%. It'll be interesting to see the dynamics between the two. But right now, I feel really confident with Jonathan Quick, and I still think he has hockey left in him.
Yeah, starting to see some confidence here with this Edmonton team, though, too. They've been winning as well as Colorado. These are teams in the West to keep an eye on as we're kind of heading to stretch run here. Coyotes, Oilers under a total of 7. This one to have a start time here of 10:30 Eastern time. All right, Dana, let's take a look over at Pick Dog from tonight's action. Of course, a 10-game card from the NBA. Also 2 to go left in the NIT quarterfinals, as well as a couple on the ice. Tomorrow we get it started with the big college basketball Sweet 16. Hey, they're gonna have a round in Vegas, so lots of good action here. Great matchups. That's the place to be.
I mean, it's amazing. Apparently, everybody's comfortable with having games in Vegas. All of a sudden, we start off with a UConn game, and on tomorrow, all of a sudden we can have Super Bowls and we can have final Elite Eights and 7 conference tournaments. Everything is okay all of a sudden. Well, everything was always okay. It was just a matter of perception. And once perception was it was okay, then all of a sudden Vegas was not the bad guy anymore. And in fact, these leagues have known all along that not only has Vegas not been the bad guy, they've been a friend to the league for years.
They certainly have been able to police all the nonsense out there with their methods there. All right, Dana. Of course, get on board with Dana Lane over at Pick Dodge Premium action up there on the board here with College Hoops. Bookie Buster up there, a 3-pack. And, of course, the way to go, guys, with the long-term pass with Dana Lane. Get all of his premium plays here with that 1-month pass. You're covered for the NHL, part of the playoffs in there, NBA as well. Start of baseball here on a week from Thursday. Can't wait for baseball as we're ready to roll here. That's also part of that 30-day pass. And, of course, use the promo code PICK at checkout, and you will save 15%. All right, Dana, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, buddy. I hope you have a great week. Best of luck to everybody.
You got it. Dana Lane here on the drive. Let's continue, guys. If you miss a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on. Big Al McMordie is available, so we'll bring him in right now. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Fantastic college basketball season. Hope you've been checking the numbers over at Pick Dogs. Big Al, how's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for bearing with me today, Tony.
No worries. Just in time here as we go to the opener of the ESPN doubleheader. Mavericks here, home of the Warriors. The Warriors going to be a short favorite, total 237.5.
Yeah, Golden State had lost those 11 games in a row, and then I thought it was a perfect time to take Golden State the other night. I took them minus 9.5 or 10 against the Rockets. Then the line kind of got steamed to 11 or 12, and they won by 13. So they did snap their losing streak. They covered the spread to boot, so it was a nice day on the road for Golden State. But now, can they win 2 in a row on the road? That's really the question here, and I don't think they're going to. Number one, Golden State's off that win. The Mavericks are also coming in off a 112-108 loss to Memphis. And the Mavericks are now 149, 94, and 6 ATS. If they're off a loss and their opponent is off a win. Dallas also has revenge in this meeting, and Golden State is 31 and 69 ATS off a point spread win if its foe has revenge, including 10 and 38 ATS if Golden State's previous game was on the road. So I think you add it all up. Golden State, yes, they did win at Houston. I won't give you that much for that. Houston's one of the 2 worst teams in basketball. And Golden State's still 1-11 its last 12 on the road. I'm not taking them in this, near pick'em game against Dallas. I'm going to take the Mavericks.
And actually, we have seen some movement here to 3 because Doncic is in the lineup here. We can now verify that. Hardaway out, Irving out. So Doncic in there. They're probably even. I think here with Doncic, you like it even better now, even though you're going to be laying the 3, I guess now.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, Golden State -1 without Doncic is equal to Dallas -3 with Doncic. So
gotcha.
It's the same.
And the cruddy defense they played here was, of course, Houston was not a get well spot. It was just simply a spot. It meant nothing, right?
Can you rephrase the question?
No. I mean, as far as as you said here, Houston was nowhere near a spot to get well with, right? It's not going to start a trend of Golden State showing success.
Yeah. I mean, for that game, you knew Golden State was going to win straight up. The only issue is were they going to cover the 9.5 to 12 points? So, thank God they did. But you don't get too many bonus points by going on the road and beating Houston.
That's right. We got that. Now I'm going to ask you a question, Big Al. With rest advantage, how much do you value it now late in the season? We're now in game 70s, getting in the 70s now of an 82-game season.
I do factor it in certain situations late in the year. We're not there yet.
Okay, there you go. All right, Big Al here on the Mass plus 1.5 here against the Warriors. This one have a start time.
But there will be certain situations post game 75 where I will be looking at fade certain unrested teams.
There you go. Keep an eye out, guys.
There's a lot of unrested teams that I won't give a shit about. So.
That's right. many will be in that situation. So there you go. 7:40 Eastern Time. This is game 1 of the doubleheader on ESPN. All right, Big Al, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Print for tonight's action. Of course, Big Al lighting the board up here in the college hoops today. 2,851 units of profit, 2 on the board from the NIT. We also have the Sweet 16 beginning tomorrow. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
I've got, college and NBA tonight. I will have, as we sit here today, probably 3 of the 8 games over Thursday and Friday posted. I'll probably pass on 5 of the 8. And one of the 3 will be my, I'll have a big play on one of the 3. And, I haven't looked at hockey yet, so I don't know what I'm going to, but I'm passing today on the ice. There
you go, guys. Get on board with McMordie over at Pick Dogs Premium. You see the great results here in college basketball. Get on board. You want to cover the entire tournament? Just get the 1-month pass, 30-day pass. All the Big Al's Premium plays for 30 days include all his college hoops until the tournament's over, as well as NBA. Of course, so we'll get you to that play-in round, right? We'll get you to the end of the regular season in that play-in round, as well as first week of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. So lots of coverage here. We will be about a little more than 3 weeks into the season in MLB. I'm sure Big Al may have some plays ready by then. 3 weeks is enough?
10 to 15 days.
10 to 15 days. So you're going to get all right. So,
10 to 15, I should say, games under a team's belt. So that usually is more than they have some off days. So you usually, say 2 to 3 weeks.
There you go. And just I don't know if you caught any of the spring training. Maybe this is the time to catch with these rule changes. What do you anticipate here? Of course, I'm hearing overs from people.
Yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I haven't paid any attention. I've been focused on college basketball.
That's true. That is true. Well, and they're not playing for real yet, right? That's what I'm saying, right?
I don't have enough time in the day to look at stuff that's not counting.
That's right.
But that's just my opinion. I've got enough to do with college basketball,
and that's why you wait 15 days, and that's the disciplined approach, right?
Well, I mean, for me, I want to get data, and I don't care about 2022 data for the baseball teams. I want to get 2023 data, but that's just how I do it. Everyone's different. It's really not a lot. I mean, when you take a look at 10 games out of a 162 game schedule, that's like one game out of an NFL schedule. So, it's sort of the same percentage. It's just,
it is about
it's like with the NFL, I prefer to get also one game under my belt too.
That's right.
Same with college football. I mean, it's just what I prefer.
You got it from Big Al. All right, Big Al, have yourself a great night. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow, Tony. Thanks so much.
Got it. Big Al McMordie here on the Drive Thru. Guys, you missed a pick. We're going to recap in just a minute here. I'll get you my play, and then we'll go to the recap. So let's continue on here on the Drive Thru. We'll get to my pick right now. Let's put it up here for you right now, and we're going to be looking here at this one tonight let's see, we get my pick record up here. Jazz here and the Trailblazers. And we'll look at the Jazz in this spot. The Portland Trailblazers are going to be without several of their rotational players tonight. Jeremy Grant out, Little out, Winslow out, and Simons out. So the two of their big three scorers are out here. So it'll be Lillard, Reddish, Thibault, Watford, and Nurkic in there. We know Clarkson, Sexton's out. But again, marketing in the lineup here for Utah in this spot. So we're going to be looking here at this Utah Jazz team against the Portland Trailblazer team that has just looked very well this season here on the road. And it's been really pretty ugly for them down the stretch. So we'll be a Jazz here, lay the 5 against Portland. Guys, check out Pick Dogs Premium tonight. I've got a best bet up there right now from the NBA, so get on board with that right now. Also, my 3-pack went off just a minute ago here from the NIT and CBI, so those are all already off the board, so get on board here with my best bet tonight from the NBA. And, of course, you can match me up for the capper with the 2-for-1 capper promotion with my long-term pass, my 3, 7, or 30-day all-sports pass. Get up my premium place for that period of time you select when you go to my handicapper page and make that purchase. And, of course, match me up with another capper or that pick is your promo to save 15% off. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's get to the recap. All right, we'll pull my pick down here for you right now. You got to start with Chris. Chris liked the Lakers, lay the 1 against the Suns. Mitch was on UAB, lay the 1.5 against Vanderbilt. El Nino, Spurs plus 17.5 against the Bucks. Wayne likes the Bulls plus the points here against the 76ers. We should update some of these lines because we went over the injuries. It's going to be about plus 1.5 now with the with that Bulls game. James on T-Wolves lay the 5 against the Hawks. Rod likes Rockets, Grizzlies under 232. Dana on the Coyotes, Oilers under 7. Big Al on the Mavs plus the 1.5. It's going to be a different situation now with the injuries here. Actually, with Doncic playing, it's going to be now 3 in this one here. You're getting 3 here with the Mavericks because Doncic's playing and Irving is out. So that's the news there. And of course you've got. I'll be on the Jazz here. Other ones I like the most, I like Big Al's here with the Mavs now up to plus 3 with Doncic playing in this one. So that's the key there as we would go over some of the injuries again for you guys tonight here. We'll one quick glance here at the injury report to update you guys on. Denver, Washington, looks like Beal is out and Kuzma out for Washington. Gillespie out for Denver. He hasn't played for a bunch of the season anyway. Warriors and Mavs. Hardaway out, Irving out for Dallas, Doncic in the lineup, out for Golden State, Iguodala, Jerome, Payton, and Wiggins. Draymond Green is probable. Knicks and Heat, we've got a clean injury report here for the Knicks. Miami is looking at Zeller out tonight. All right, let's go to Pacers and Toronto. For Indiana, Duarte and Halliburton out. For Toronto, Banton out. We're still waiting on word on Achua. Barnes and Trent still questionable for Toronto. Sixers and the Bulls. The Bulls, a clean injury report for Philadelphia. Harden, McDaniels are out. Tucker is still questionable for this game that begins in an hour. Spurs and Milwaukee. The Spurs out. McDermott, Langford, Jones, Johnson, Graham, Birch, and Sokan questionable. A lot of reserves in the lineup tonight and off the bench here for the Spurs. On the Bucks side, Crowder, Dragic, and Leonard out for the Bucks. Hawks and T-Wolves. Johnson, Murray out here. Bogdanovich still questionable here in a game that begins in about an hour. On the Minnesota side, McLaughlin out, Noel questionable, Edwards questionable. Karl-Anthony Towns in tonight for Minnesota, limits restriction. Houston and Memphis, just Tate out for Houston. On the Memphis side, Adams, Brooks, and both Williams out. And of course, for the Memphis Grizzlies, we go to Portland and Utah. Out for Utah, Winslow, Simons, Little, Grant, and Baji. And Clarkson and Sexton remain out here for Utah. Suns and the Lakers. Aiden and Durant out. On the Lakers side is Bamba, James out, Anthony Davis probable. So there you go, all caught up on the injuries. All right, that's going to do it for this edition here of The Drive-Thru. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again, bringing our cappers from Pig Dogs and Sports Chat Place. We'll get out the place live for you here in prime time. And don't forget, it all gets started at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It's the morning show. It's Mitch, it's Rod, and it's Chris in the mornings. And, of course, don't forget Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. We also have the Puck Dogs. We got Chris as well as Rod Zawacky with that Puck Dogs NHL video series with every NHL video for you up there as well. And, of course, we've got Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. So don't forget, you don't want to miss that Sweet 16 round coming up here from Ron. Of course, Jay's Jam Session, every game on the board, NBA with his morning roundup. And, of course, live here at 4 p.m. Eastern Time with his NBA show. And, of course, we got David Racy with his shorts, Javon with his parlay videos. And, of course, either Thursday or Saturday, it's the UFC show with Mills and Brad Francis. So, you guys, make sure you like, subscribe, set those notifications, be live to get the games in real time and be notified of the plays. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from tonight. And we goodbye.